So it's a fresh wipe and you're ready to start your new Rust adventure. You survive the beach, collect materials, but then you realize you need a home. You don't have a ton of materials, but you do have enough that you don't want to lose them. What should I build, you ask yourself. In this video, we'll answer that question for you and go over an option you have as a solo or a duo. Here is what we're going to build. At the front we have a counter to door campers. There are 3 doors that lead into our core with the main stuff behind a garage door. This base has 41 rows of storage, 3 furnaces, 2 sleeping bags, a barbecue, a level 2, and a repair table. It's also ultra cheap to build. Now just a little disclaimer, this base is not meant to be anything but a quick startup base. Its raid protection is designed to withstand the early game only. So how do we build it? So for this, we want to build a triangle foundation with a tip facing the direction you want your entrance to be. On the back, we need 2 raised foundations like this. We want to immediately wall in this back room so that we are safe from the outside. The door should swing out. Once we are good, we could place the TC here. The first thing is usually a small box which can go right next to it. Next we'll place the 2 sleeping bags with the pillow ends opposite each other. When you do this, it saves a little bit of room on the side. Once you have a single door ready, you can build the door frame on the side with the triangle. Wall in the rest with the roof, and now you have a 1x2 with a basic airlock. When you're ready for more storage, we could place 2 small boxes in that extra space we made next to this wall. Place a furnace in this corner once you get enough low grade. Now your focus should be on smelting metal ore down so that we can replace those wooden doors with metal. I like to go with the single door first because it is slightly cheaper. As soon as you have the metal, replace the double door and the airlock is much stronger. When you get a little bit further into your farming, you can add in the level 1 workbench and more storage as you need it. I wouldn't add too much more here though until we do some expanding. But from the outside you can see we now have a 2x1 starter. If you're wondering about that triangle on the front, that is there to make jumping into a slightly elevated door very easy. Next we'll want to expand out our front. So if we stand in the door, we'll add 2 half walls on the bottom with a regular wall on the right and a door frame on the left. The door should swing out towards the front. On the outside we'll add 2 more triangles and a square extension. This is already the full footprint of the base. On this side we'll add a wall frame with a shop front. This will give us extra vision on this side. We'll close the top off like this. On the front here we'll build a twig half wall which allows us to place this door frame higher up. We'll break the twig and now instead of putting a half wall here to close it off, we'll add this ramp. Upgrade it to metal to get the best vision. This is a really great trick to allow you to fight off door campers while staying safe inside. It's already impossible to sneak in from the outside, but I also like to come inside and add this low wall. This low wall makes it impossible to loot your body from the outside should you lose a fight. A roof goes on the very top, and as you can see, there's also a working airlock on the front. If we have a look around out on the ground, you have a bunch of vision to work with and a pretty big range as well. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. You could also upgrade the stone foundation to sheet metal if you really think people will try to soft side the stone. On the inside we have a lot of changes to make and some stuff to upgrade. Right at the front here I like to grab up to 3 furnaces which all fit down below. This is one of the reasons we have elevated foundations and it's a great use of space. Our primitive loot room will be upgraded first since it will be the most secure area of the base. We need to upgrade this room to sheet metal, but the easiest way to do this room is by adding the bottom row of boxes first while the room is still stone. For demonstration purposes, let's get rid of this stuff now, and we can replace it with a level 2. You will need this to get 1 garage door for the TC room. A small box can go underneath on the end here. We'll put a garage door here facing out so that boxes don't stick through, and then we can begin placing the boxes. The first out of 3 goes right into this back corner. The next box we want on the wall, but also behind the wall frame. It's possible with very meticulous placement to get this to fit right in. To make it much easier, just upgrade the frame. If it's in far enough, you'll then be able to get this 3rd box in here all the way up against the TC. Once those are in, we could then upgrade the room. We now want to add our shelf so that we can add more boxes on top. The first box goes in similar to the bottom. If you need help placing anything here, you can use this twig buildup. The second large box goes against the wall. We can also add in 2 small boxes like this to make the best use of the shelf. We can break the twig, and at this point we're almost done. I like to put the repair table in next. I try to get it against the back wall and into the workbench as far as I can go. Good thing about these is that you can add 2 small boxes underneath it after. Next we'll grab a barbecue and a small box. They can go right into this corner. When you're trying to make a good use of space, every barbecue should have a small box under it. Next we'll want to jump up here and place the original 2 sleeping bags in this orientation. The finishing touches are this small box that you want to try to get close to the wall. Enough so that we could then place these 3 lanterns. I like to use these lanterns to hold low grade in such a tight configuration. And now the base is pretty much done. We have everything we need, a bunch of storage here. Now you could upgrade this room to sheet metal, but unless you find a single armored door to place in this door frame, it's probably not worth. From the outside we have something that looks semi-strong but doesn't look rich, which is always important for early scouters. This base has some cool front door defense and vision and is perfect for a solo and duo to farm from. Just for purposes of demonstration, I will show you how to raid this. First, very important, you'll want to build your standard raid base. Sorry, I can't even look out without laughing. What I'm going to show you here is the difference between an early game raid and a late game raid. In the early game, a raider will most likely use satchels and have to go through all of the doors with 4 on each of the singles and 9 on the garage door. This totals 21 satchels and is pretty decent for a base this small. Not only is this incredibly inefficient and loud, it also takes a long time with fuses constantly going out and some fuses being as long as my... well, you get the point. And there you have it, a 21 satchel raid. I've already been counted by a 10-player group and lost. Now with late game raiding there is one key difference. And no, it's not the raid base. You always need that. The big thing here is splash and this gap. We can simply aim through here with rockets and aim behind door number 1, which will damage both doors for the normal cost of 1 rocket. We can also transfer the expo splash the same way. After that, it's normal door raiding. 1 rocket and a few explo for each sheet metal door. It will take 3 rockets for the garage door when we get there and a couple more explo for the TC. This is much more efficient and much faster. It is also louder and tends to attract more people, but it is much cheaper sulfur-wise, which is why you shouldn't use this as your main, it's simply too small. So that pretty much wraps up this starter base. I plan on doing more of these in the future to help out the massive amount of new players in the game right now. Some bases, including mine, can be difficult to build when you're just starting out, so I do hope this series will help. But if you have anything to add, you know where to find me. See ya. Oh, and by the way, that raid base was a joke. Or was it?